Hi, I'm Kimmy. Welcome to our stretches. Today we're going to stretch our SI joint and our lower back. So our SI joint is basically an area that you've got the sacrum and then you've got the lower back here, the pelvis bone. They connect right there, and the sacrum is a fused bone, a lower back bone. So what ends up happening is we get tight there, and then it just gets tight around the lower back because it's supporting the lower back. So let's go ahead and release some of that. And that a lot of times comes from prolonged sitting, and it can still happen from fully standing jobs as well. So just make sure that you keep stretching your lower back. Staying mobile is very, very important. We're going to start with our feet together in a butterfly stretch. Pardon me, Moscato. And then we're just going to actively press the knees down. So just reach the knees down, keeping the spine long. You don't have to press into the knees. You're just going to press your knees out actively. So you're reaching your knees down towards the floor. I'm going to hold that for a little bit here. Now try to breathe into your lower back, into kind of like you're breathing into your tailbone. So it's almost like a traction. So you're growing tall as you reach your knees down. So deep breath in and a deep breath out. And some of you may feel different stretches for yourself depending on where you are, where you have tightness. Okay, so let's go into a little child's pose. We're going to go into an angled child's pose, which means that you're going to reach the arm back, but then take the opposite hand across the other. I'm going to push the hip down. So in my case, my right arm is over, so I'm going to press the right hip back. So it creates a little C shape to the spine. And then we're stretching it to the lower back. Try to relax your shoulders, relax your lower back. And then we'll do the other side as well. Take your arm over, stretch. So this is my tighter side. So we're going to press the hip back. Again, breathe into your lower back. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears in the same process. And then up we go. We're going into a 90-90 stretch. So a lot of people think this is like the pigeon stretch, but it's actually not. So the 90-90 is literally 90-degree knee angles in both the front and back leg. So this front leg then allows us to push that away from the groin and gets it a little bit more into the hip versus just into that glute, okay? So lengthening to the spine here, so we're in this 90-90 position, and then lean. Okay, so your hand can go wherever it needs to go, and you may need to adjust the positioning of your body here, depending on where you might feel tightness. So we're stretching here. You want to kind of feel through the outer hip. Again, your foot is pushed away from the groin on this stretch. So find your best position for your body. So it's a little bit more subtle compared to a pigeon pose. And then from here, lift yourself up. Now we're going to go into that pigeon pose. So tuck your foot in a little bit more. You can swing the leg further back, rotate your hip down, and now come deeper. So you've released your hips. Now we're going to release into our glute. So now we're stretching into our glute a little bit. If you're tight, you can stay up a little bit more and then come down deeper. You can even extend your arms through if it feels good for you. So you want to hold these stretches about 30 seconds or so. It helps you release into the joint more. So the muscles release around the joints, helps us relax more, and you'll start to feel even more release. Okay, and I think it's time for the other side according to my kitty. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're gonna go 90-90. Okay, so again, you wanna press the leg away from the groin. The side leg is also in this 90-degree angle. Leaning in. Again, this is my tighter side, so I can feel it just from leaning a little bit in my lower back and even into the hip. So leaning in, keeping that foot away from the groin. You can even flex the foot. Sometimes it helps to protect the joints, the knee and the ankle joint. Just find that best stretch for you here. Try to relax your shoulders. Keep breathing through these stretches. It's so important to breathe. We tend to get a little bit tight, even in our face. So try to relax your face. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And then we'll go into the pigeon. So I'm gonna tuck the leg in a little bit more, swing the leg back further, and then come down, forearms propped up, or extend an arm as you'd like. Relaxing through your shoulders, rolling your hips towards a long-legged side. Do you have pets also that help you stretch? Okay, and then let's go ahead and come on up. We're gonna go to a little down dog here. So your hands shoulder width apart, toes tucked under. We're just gonna pop the hips up. The knees can stay a little bit bent, and we're just gonna walk the feet a little bit here. So releasing through your ankle, releasing your calf. All right, and let's go ahead and release. Okay, so we're gonna go knees to chest. We're gonna lay down on our back. Let's hug both knees into the chest here. Releasing through your lower back, and then rock side to side. From here, we're gonna take the legs and then just allow the knees to fall to the side. Head stays up, or you're looking away from your knee, relaxing your lower back. The opposite shoulder is pressing down into the floor. So it's not just a lower back stretch, it helps us release the top of our hip. For some of us, it's called the tensor fascia lata, and it kind of is the top part of the IT band too. So anything to help us release into our hips, into our lower back is great. And let's go ahead and bring the legs back into the center, and we'll let the legs fall to the other side. Relax your shoulders, the head goes the opposite direction of your knees. And then breathe. Just kind of notice that as you exhale, you can sink a little bit more into the stretch. It helps us release more into the muscles. And then we're going to roll ourselves up. Okay, so this one's a unique one. It's a great stretch to release the SI joint. Some people will have a little popping happen. Some people won't. It's just more of a stretch. For me, it's more of a stretch. So you're going to just take your leg, pull it in. Okay, so just kind of pull the leg in. You're going to push yourself up into a little push up here. The leg that's in, that same side arm, then slides under. You're just gonna reach through, push with the opposite hand, and just get that stretch through your lower back. If you have a super sensitive lower back though, relax your body, the other arm, and just settle in right here. So some people will feel this a little bit more in the lower back. Some people may feel this in the hip joint, maybe even into the inner thigh. Again, anything to help stretch around the hip joint is good. And then we'll do the other side. So lift yourself up, We'll tuck the knee in. The leg that is tucked in, lift yourself up. You're gonna slide it underneath and then stretch into your lower back. Again, this is my tighter side, so I'm gonna feel this a lot more on this side. And then just breathe into your hip, releasing through your hip, your lower back, your SI joint. Just allowing yourself to settle in. You'll notice that if you have any tightness there, that'll just kind of melt. And that's what you want. And then we'll lift back up. And then just give yourself a little child pose stretch to release your lower back. And then wag your tail a little bit, releasing through your hips. Just let it sway side to side. And up you go. Okay. How do you feel? Hopefully it feels good. Again, for anything that's a lower back stretch, just always find yourself in a stretch that is complementary to your back for that day, because it's going to probably change day by day. Alrighty, I will see you next time.